Hi, everybody. Welcome to Baseball Discourse. I got to thinking the other day, we're coming up on the anniversary of the first game ever played at Dodger Stadium on April 10th, 1962. Thought about it as the Dodgers open up another season, two-time defending world champions at Dodger Stadium, one of the oldest ballparks in all of baseball. You wouldn't think so, because the Dodgers have done a superb job of keeping the ballpark pristine. And it underwent recently a massive update, something like, what, $500 million, maybe even more. But overall, Dodger Stadium has been one of the trademark ballparks in all of baseball. And it opened on April 10th, 1962 against the Cincinnati Reds. And the Reds won that game 6-3. Let's take a look at the box score because this is an interesting situation. It featured games involving future major league managers. In fact, the first two batters in the game, think about this for just a moment. The first two batters in the game for the Cincinnati Reds, the first two batters ever at Dodger Stadium would go on to manage in the major leagues. And in fact, that Reds lineup that day included three major league managers, including one very historic manager. Let's take a look. Eddie Casco was at shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds that day, and he would go on to manage the Boston Red Sox. Cookie Rojas was the second baseman, and Rojas would go on to be a coach and eventually manage the California Angels. And then, of course, the great Frank Robinson, who would become the first African-American in Major League Baseball history to manage. He was player-manager with the Cleveland Indians. But we're not done there, because if you look at the Los Angeles Dodgers lineup, there were two future managers in that line. Maury Wills would go on to manage in the major leagues. He was the Dodgers' leadoff hitter. And later in the game, Frank Howard would pinch hit for Maury Wills. And Howard went on to manage in the major leagues. So that's really fascinating. You take a look. The lineup involving these two teams, the Reds and the Dodgers, contained five managers, three for Cincinnati and two for the Dodgers. The Reds won that game, and goes to show you how baseball from one day to the next can change. The Reds had played the day before at Cincinnati because the Cincinnati Reds always had the first game of the season. And they lost on April 9th to the Philadelphia Phillies 12-4, then had to get out of plane and fly out to the West Coast to play the Dodgers in a day game on April 10th, 1962. And the Reds won that game by the score of 6-3. Bob Perky, the winning pitcher, Johnny Padres, the losing pitcher, 6-3 in the final, in a game which took 2 hours and 47 minutes to play in front of 52,564. The first game ever played at Dodger Stadium. That's going to do it for Baseball Discourse. See you later.